Welcome to Bible time. I wonder what God says in His holy law about the value of life. What does it say there, Ben?
Okay, well, Exodus has the 10 Commandments in it, and it's pretty straightforward for this one. It says, "Thou shalt not murder."
Okay.
Pretty short and sweet.
Okay. So what's it talking about?
Well, it says don't kill people.
Okay.
Thankfully, most people don't have much trouble obeying this commandment.
Okay.
So, you might think, well, that's pretty self-explanatory. Let's go on to the next one. But, 2,000 years ago, Jesus expanded it, and he kind of surprised everyone. Let me read to you from Jesus' words from the Sermon on the Mount. It's Matthew chapter 5, and Jesus said this. He said, "You've heard that it was said to people long ago, 'Do not murder, and anyone who murders will be subject to judgment. But I tell you that anyone who's angry with his brother will be subject to judgment." And he goes on to say, it's not okay either to curse someone. And he goes on to expand even further, and he says, in fact, so much so that even if you've had a fight with someone, it's more important that you sort that out even before you come to church and give your offerings. And so he took this simple commandment of don't kill or murder, and he expanded it right through to looking deeper into your heart and the basis of friendly and loving relationships.
So God's not so much about grabbing your money as He is about helping you love. Understand what love's about.
Well, it's incredible. And Jesus is just highlighting the power of loving words versus harmful words. Sometimes with our words, we can really build someone up, make them feel on top of the world. It's a good thing to do. And with our same words, we could tear someone to shreds or put doom and gloom on things. And Jesus is saying, why don't you breathe life rather than tearing it down? It's great advice.
It is. Well, let's push it along a little, Neil. What's it all about, do you think?
Well, look, Jesus, I think, summarised it beautifully when he said, the thief comes to steal, kill and destroy, but he has come to give life, and not just any kind of life, life to the full, and life in its fullest sense. So, don't murder, yes, but actually add life, and add life everywhere you go. And I really like that. That's a great philosophy for life. If you want to just, everywhere you go, just say, how can I add life? How can I add extra value to this? You can do that in your workplace. You can do it at home. You can just think of what are ways that I can add life and add meaning and add value to what's going on here.
Add joy.
Add joy and add happiness. Okay. And when you do, suddenly those grey clouds go disappearing and the thief misses out, on stealing life from you.
Okay, well, pastors, we're great at doing great object lessons, but to help us cope with what's the practical point, Sarah.
So we're talking about a golden rule here, and we're talking about love means giving of yourself to others. And if we really look at it, when God's saying do not murder, He's actually giving us a promise. He's saying if you really know me, if you know what I'm about, then you will build your life around love. The thought of murder and hate and all the rest of it will be far from your mind. And it even goes further than that when it talks about our relationship with God, about loving God, enjoying having a relationship with God, trusting God, and knowing that He trusts us back. It's this relationship that you have. It's reciprocal. It's like having a best friend.
Okay. So the practical step you can take is to just start...
Build your life around love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Loving someone else.
Give of yourself to someone else. It's about giving.
Okay, well, now that's all well and good. And but we're just going to ask the harder question. We're going to dive a little bit deeper, and the question is this. If Christianity's all about loving, why has the Christian church done so much bad stuff through the ages? I mean, I want you to think about the Inquisition, you can think of the Christian wars, you can think Christian hatred. What do you reckon?
Well, just because some people call themselves Christians, there'll always be some, unfortunately, who call themselves Christians who don't behave like Jesus Christ did. And should that surprise us? I don't think so. And so when we look into the Bible, we see what Jesus really upholds as the standard of Christian behaviour. It's sad when people have more than dropped the ball. They've actually gone in the opposite direction on occasions. And we can all think of situations in history where, rather than love that they were after, people were more just desperately after power and control. And, there's nothing wrong with being influential or having power, provided you're doing it the right way. And it's a shame that some people have sort of gone off the rails in major ways with this, but if they'd followed Christ's example, you'd see the exact opposite. You'd see them loving rather than hating and killing. Okay,
so it is true, sometimes the church has not been about freedom. They're the exact polar opposite. But what's Jesus been about, Sarah?
He's definitely about giving, He's given us the free gift. We've got the free gift of heaven. So as it says in God's word about freely received, so we should freely give. And that's a really important thing to remember. And it is really as simple as that. And when we give to other people and we encourage them and uplift them with our words, we're adding to their life.
I think it bounces back too, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
In fact, I think most of us would be absolutely surprised if we were to discover what the latest scientific research has revealed. And that is when we go and speak words that are nice and make other people's lives improve, blow me down, they've found out that our own life gains extra years, it gains extra health and we feel happier ourselves. Well, it's a no-brainer really when you think about it. If you're creating happiness, you're living in a bubble of happiness.